الحمد لله رب العالمين الصلاة والسلام على رسول الكريم أما بعد. Ikhwan, the way I've organized this talk is to give half an hour on the subject of unity and the other half an hour on the subject of Dawah, because the title I was given to talk about is Unity and Dawah. Obviously, I'll say from the onset that half an hour, 30 minutes is no way enough to discuss the issues of unity, nor is it enough to discuss the main concepts and principles of Dawah. So what I will do is I will just choose some parts of it which I think are relevant and deliver that, and hopefully inshallah it will encourage all of you to seek knowledge further after I've gone about these two subjects, gain more knowledge and implement what you hear inshallah, and we can leave here trying to make a constructive effort to unite the Muslims and involve ourselves in Dawah. Right. First thing is Allah Jalla wa Ala, He said in the Quran, أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم واعتصموا بحبل الله جميعا ولا تفرقوا, which means, and hold fast tight all of you together to the rope of Allah and do not be divided. This ayah in the Quran is very, very fundamental. It's the most important ayah that the scholars use when they speak about unity, because Allah is saying all of you together. He didn't say a group of you. He's saying all of you together hold firm to the rope of Allah and do not be divided. Something very important to understand from this hadith, from this ayah in the Quran, is if Allah was to have left out that word hablillah, the rope of Allah, how would the ayah have read? It would have read وَاعْتَصِمُوا جَمِيعًا وَلَا تَفَرَّقُوا, which means hold firm together, be united together, all of you together, and do not be divided. And that would have made perfect sense in the language of the Arabs, and it would have made perfect sense in understanding. My point is, for some hikmah, wisdom, a reason, Allah Jalla wa Ala put in these words Hablillah, the rope of Allah, because He wanted to tell the Muslims how to be united. Not just be united, we have to be united. He wanted to show us what to be united upon and how to do the unity. And that's why He said, hold fast all of you together to the rope of Allah, and do not be divided. Now, what is the rope of Allah? When you return to the tafsir of Ibn Kathir and other than him, you will find they explain a rope of Allah to mean the Quran. Another tafsir, the rope of Allah is the Shahada, La ilaha illallah Muhammad Rasulullah. Other tafsirs say it is Tawheed, the oneness of Allah. So we can clearly see from this ayah what we're supposed to be united upon. Tawheed, the kalima, La ilaha illallah Muhammad Rasulullah, and the Quran. And there are other tafasirs as well, other explanations, but these were the best ones that I could find. So Allah didn't leave us to just unite however we wanted. And He didn't leave the method of uniting to our whims and our desires, to the intellectuals, or to the poor people, or the rich. He didn't leave it to the scholars. He did not leave how to unite this ummah to anybody. He made it explicitly clear Himself how to unite. So now we know how to unite, brothers. We know what to unite upon and how to do this unity. All we have to do is step in that direction, and Allah will make things easy for us. The second interesting point of benefit from this ayah of unity is where He said وَلَا تَفَرَّقُوا at the end, and do not be divided, because He's saying at the beginning, hold fast all of you together to the rope of Allah. He's encouraging with unity. Wouldn't it have been sufficient for Him to have just left it there and not say, do not be divided amongst yourselves? Because on one hand, He's ordered with positive unity, and on the other hand, He's ordering us not to do the opposite to what He's already said. So therefore, وَلَا تَفَرَّقُوا comes as emphasis of the first part of the ayah. It comes as emphasis. Don't, be united and don't divide. Of course, don't divide means be united in and of itself. And being united, obviously, in the first part of the ayah means don't be divided. So it's emphasis. Why did Allah Jalla wa Ala put such emphasis in the Quran? Because mankind was but one ummah, and later they differed. There's an ayah in the Quran where Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said that they will not cease to differ. They will not cease to differ, meaning that we will continue to differ. Mankind are prone to differ. Very, very similar to where Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, وَخُلِقَ الْإِنسَانُ ضَعِيفًا, that man has been made or created weak. He's been created weak, following his whims and his desires. But at the same time Allah said, وَأَمَّا مَنْ نَهَى نَفْسَ عَنِ الْهَوَىٰ فَإِنَّ الْجَنَّةَ هِيَ الْمَأْوَىٰ, and whoever prevents himself from following his desires, then his end above will be paradise. So even though Allah has created us weak, He hasn't said, okay, you're created weak, so go and do what you want. Sin and, disobey Allah and take people's rights and so on and so forth. No, He said, but you stop yourself from following your desires. So that's where the test is. Let's go back to the issue of unity. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala told us to be united, even though He's created us to differ with so many uquls, minds and intellects. But He's prohibited ikhtilaf, dividing. He's prohibited dividing and sectarianism with such extreme measures that He said, إِنَّ الَّذِينَ فَرَّقُوا دِينَهُمْ وَكَانُوا شِيَعًا لَسْتَ مِنْهُمْ فِي شَيْءٍ, that those who divided their religions into groups, sects, parties, you, O Muhammad, have nothing to do with them in the slightest. Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. So those who oppose the unity upon the rope of Allah, upon the Quran, upon the Sunnah, upon the Quran and Tawheed and the Shahada, those who oppose this, the Messenger Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam will have nothing to do with them. And there are many other ayahs in the Quran where Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He makes blameworthy division, partisanship, and He encourages unity. This ummah, ikhwan, I don't think there is two people in this room that will differ in what I had said earlier, that the ummah is one ummah, and that unity is an obligation, and that differing is something blameworthy and impermissible in Islam. I don't think anybody in this room would differ with that. The question is then, why is it we're still in our groups? Why is it we're still in these sects, in these divisions? One group disliking the second group, all speaking against each other. Why is this happening then? If everybody agrees with and wants unity, and everybody makes division blameworthy, the answer is this. It's because they don't understand what the unity is supposed to be based upon. Some are saying unity must be based upon worshipping our saints, our forefathers. Some are saying unity be